Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Pro Sports Podcast. Today is March the 20th. It's a Thursday here in rainy North Carolina. Didn't know it was supposed to storm today. It was just 75 degrees and sunny yesterday. But nevertheless, we're back. It's a great day, y'all. It's a great time in sports, actually. It's one of the best times in sports. Kind of like just past the best time. The best time is around the Super Bowl, kind of where the NBA is cranking up. You've got the NBA, jousting for playoff seeding position. You have NCAA basketball, men's and women's now, getting very intense as they push to get the best seeds in the tournament and win their conference. Let's start with the NCAA tournament because around this time of year, you have a lot of hometown teams that make their way into the tournament. You've got teams that it's always every year it's a team that got to get into the tournament. The school's never been in there before. They've never made it to the big dance. And, now they have this opportunity to do something for the first time in school's history. So it's always a good fairy tale story. It's always a good mojo, a good vibe to the NCAA tournament. You don't know what's going to happen. You've never seen an Auburn play an Alabama State. You've never seen a Clemson who's losing to the number 12 number 12 seed McNeese State right now, 31-13. Clemson has like 30-year-olds on their team, bro. And they're losing to McNeese State. Why? It's hard to game plan for something you've never seen. You don't know who to watch throughout the season. You don't get to see their trends, their patterns. You can do all the film study you want for, Selection Sunday was Sunday and it's Thursday. That's not enough time to know a team that you played two or three times. You played twice in the season and then you played in your conference tournament. It's an element of the unknown for the players, the coaches, and the viewers and the refs. Having to figure out how to ref these games. Houston is taking care of business right now. Houston is crazy defensively, bro. Oh, they already won that game. Houston is an incredible defensive team. I think that a lot of they're going to be slept on quite a bit, but I see them in the Final Four for sure. I see Houston in the Final Four for sure. Mark my word. Big games going on tomorrow. Matter of fact, let's see more. Make sure y'all can see that. Let's see what's going on tomorrow in the NCAA tournament, man. Not a bunch of great games here for tonight. You have Texas Tech and UNC Wilmington. I'm from North Carolina, and I've actually played in the UNC Wilmington gym a couple times, and I'm interested to see how that goes. They have a good team. I have a relative that I think plays on that team. You have UCLA versus Utah State can get interesting. A 17 versus a 10, that's like a one-loss difference sometimes. Tomorrow, a lot of big dogs playing tomorrow. Got Baylor and Mississippi State. That's a 9 versus 8. Those games are always interesting because one of those teams should have been higher. Usually the 8 or 9 seed, one of those teams should have been a higher seed, and they had slippage during the season. That's usually sometimes what that means. Then you have Memphis and Colorado State. Expect Memphis to take care of business. You have Duke and St. Mary's, or Mount St. Mary's rather, and Cooper Flagg making his return tomorrow since that ankle sprain. I don't think that he has to play. I think they don't want to have any regrets. I think that the last thing that Duke wants, and rightfully so, and as a Carolina fan, I totally agree, is that ACC tournament, that's fine. Sit them, win, lose, or draw, whatever. And of course, they ended up winning it, taking care of business. But as far as the NCAA tournament, you don't want to rest your best player and possibly top 3 player in the country. You don't want to rest him in any NCAA tournament game. I'm sorry. Not if you don't not if he's not still injured. If he's hurt, you got to play him. And he wants to play, I'm sure. So look for Duke to go ahead and blow them out early, and hopefully they do the right thing and get Cooper Flagg out of there early as possible. When you sprain your ankle is tender and weaker for a considerable amount of time, and everybody's body is different. But there's no escaping that. When you sprain your ankle to the point where you can't continue that game, and you can't play the next game or the next game or the next game, then you're dealing with a tenderness, you're dealing with a fragile ankle, fragile tendons, fragile ligaments, and you got to be very careful. I don't know, for me in my playing days, wearing ankle tape wasn't something I did, and not every player can play to their fullest with their ankles taped up. It might sound crazy, but it can feel restrictive to somebody who's not used to it. And it's going to be interesting to see. I expect them to take care of business. Honestly, I would let Con Knippel do most of the ball handling and Proctor do most of the ball handling, and then look to be more a catch and shoot, a swing player, and try to stay injury free when you're going for rebounds. Try not to have any wild plays where you're out of control. You're not conscious of your landing and your landing space. Because I don't believe he landed on a foot. I believe he had a bad landing, like without a foot even being there to land on. So that right there in itself, there's a little wear and tear going on in that ankle anyway. Because there are some, like, you land on the outside of your foot, like maybe he overpronates to the outside of his foot, and that's something that he can correct. It'll help him on his landings if that's the case. And then tomorrow, 2 hours later, you have number 11 UNC. Go Tar Heels versus Ole Miss. Our rank doesn't speak for what we have on our team when we're playing to our potential. When RJ Davis is playing like RJ Davis, whole different team. When they try to make Ian Jackson the guy, it's struggle bus. When RJ Davis is that guy, we will win this game. If RJ Davis is that guy, UNC will win this round of 64 game right here against Ole Miss. Even though Ole Miss has a good team with a lot of experience, and they had a pretty good season for their standards to get that 6th seed, that's going to be a tough game. I expect UNC to win by 10. I say between 8 to 10 points. You got Kentucky playing tomorrow. You got number 1 seed Florida playing tomorrow. This Akron versus Arizona game should be good. Ex-Carolina point guard Caleb Love playing, and he's led them to a nice seed in the NCAA tournament this year. And number 9 versus number 8, Oklahoma versus UConn at 9:25 p.m. tomorrow. That's going to be crazy, bro. Those are 2 solid teams. And UConn has some history is on UConn's side. I'll say that throughout this tournament, UConn is a team that, they're around the 8th seed this year. It's not as high as the years where they win it or they go far. But it's always a team that does well in the tournament. From since I was in middle school, UConn men, when they get in the tournament, they usually do okay. If they have a decent team, they have a decent team this year. They did lose a lot of games they shouldn't have lost, but then you have Michigan State playing at 10 o'clock and Oregon playing at 10:10 to round it out. And we'll see what happens from there. Looks like Houston is already advanced. They'll play Saturday. So, it's on, man. This is the round of 64 and round of 32 where there's games on every night and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different channels. I don't know how many it is these days. Those are the glory days of sports, when it's just games on games on games, and as you turn the TV on and you can watch a college basketball game where everybody's playing their hardest and everybody's pushing to advance. On to the NBA tonight. Not a great slate of games. You have the Knicks versus the Hornets. Hornets aren't a threat to the Knicks. Hornets aren't vying for a playoff position. They're pretty much one of the worst teams in the league. The Knicks, they have to win this game. Just to stay where they are. And I think that you're going to get a good game out of Josh Hart. I know there was videos going around of Josh Hart and Tom Thibodeau getting into it during the timeout. Josh Hart's one of the most competitive guys in the league, and so is Tom Thibodeau. I would expect them to have disagreements and for them to be fiery towards each other. I don't expect anything less. I really don't. And you've got the Nets versus the Pacers. The Pacers should win that game. You got the Bulls versus the Kings. The Kings played well last night. I thought they were going to beat the Cavs, and they did. Then you got the Raptors versus the Warriors. The Raptors are a team that even Vegas sleeps on. They win a lot of games that they're the underdog for no reason. The Raptors have a decent roster with Emmanuel Quickly, R.J. Barrett. Then you got Scotty Barnes. So they have a team, bro. Um, they're missing a few pieces and a little bit of depth, but they got a pretty decent team, bro. So the Raptors versus the Warriors, you look to see how Jimmy Butler is talking about helping out Steph, and Steph looking tired, and Steph is on a slump as far as how he's playing in comparison to his hot February he had, where he's averaging 30 and hitting 4 or 5 threes a game. Now he's cooled down to having some pretty average games according to the Steph Curry we know is pretty average. So Jimmy Butler is talking about post game that it's their job to help him out and be there for him by executing and taking some of the load off, and by him and Draymond making plays. So let's see. I think the Warriors should beat the Raptors tonight. Then you got the Lakers and the Bucks. Luka Doncic will not play tonight, so it's going to be Austin Reeves triple double or bust, and he can have a triple double and they still lose. I don't know what they're going to do about Giannis. Dorian Finney-Smith can't call Giannis. Can't guard Giannis. So what are they going to do? Jackson Hayes can't guard Giannis. They might have to try that. Koloko can't guard him. I don't know what what the plan is for Giannis, and then you still have Dame to worry about. Then you can't let like Brooke Lopez and Torian Prince get loose and hit 4 and 3s. You can't let. It's a lot to worry about if the Bucks are on their A game. They're trying to figure out life after Chris Middleton. Even though the last 2 years of Chris Middleton, you barely got to see him play for 3-4 games in a row. They're still trying to figure out and adjust and get their identity back. So it's going to be a good game for sure. Austin Reeves is going to put on a show. He looked very tired last night, but he's still young, and I'm pretty sure they're taking care of their body. So it's going to be a good game, man. We might get to see Bronny play. Hasn't looked too good other than a few flashes the last few times he got to play, but the people scream for him, man. The people scream for him. But yeah, let's get to it, man. I called that Lakers Nuggets game last night. I said that the Lakers would win. No Jamal Murray, no Jokic. At one point, they were up by 30 points. The Lakers were, and it was just ugly. It was just ugly. They even got disengaged towards the end and let the Nuggets bench. The Nuggets third team beat the Lakers third team, or third string. So anyway, let's get out of here, bro. Thanks for coming through. Everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave something in the comments that we can talk about. And that's it. Peace.